first player to get 20 points wins. The leader's at 19. The other 4 players in the lobby can see that the leader is at 19. If the leader gets one more kill, the game's over. So what are they going to do? They're going to super the leader. They're going to run away from the leader. They're not going to take risky duels with the leader. And maybe for 7 or 8 duels in a row, the leader is not going to secure a kill, and they might not win as a result. So in Rumble, you should always try to go for the W because it is possible. Speaking of W, sometimes you have to hold forward and Rumble, aka you have to keep tempo, which means your kills per minute need to be higher than the other player. I know this sounds obvious, but sometimes players get so caught up in maintaining a good kill-death ratio, they didn't realize they could have won a lot more efficiently if they just traded out for 5 lives in a row to seal out the game. Next B is also very obvious, but some people need to hear it because they are too good to clean up kills. Yes, your goal should not be to win duels and Rumble. It should be to get the W, and that means you should keep players in the back. And that brings us to the final key, which is a more advanced tip, but I'm going to say the key is spawn trap. Make them unable to play the game. I know it's coming, but there's no honor in Rumble, because otherwise, I wouldn't see people using these illegal builds, forcing me to use them to try to keep up. Oh, it just occurred to me that some of y'all don't know how to spawn trap. I still get very mean comments in my comment section, being like, it takes no skill to shoot somebody in the corner 5 times in a row. And that's where you're wrong. It's a fatal flaw in FPS games that the spawn system is very predictable. You can manipulate it in a predictable way by waiting it from like pump and iron the spawns to stack the odds in your favor. So here in my garage, we are at Javelin 4, a popular Fortnite map for those of you who know. This is maybe the best spawn trap for this map, where there is a possible spawn right here, and a possible spawn right here. Take a look on screen at some beautiful infographic of, what do they call this, a cartography map by Relic. Check the video description below. Please follow them on Twitter, clap up here. We don't deserve these beautiful looking maps. But anyway, back in the game, this is all based on proximity and line of sight. So if I can physically see this spawn point, then I know the next most likely spawn is going to be this spawn point. And I can assume that if I hear gunfire everywhere else on the map, assume other people are also waiting to spawn correctly for me to trap somebody. And what do I mean by trap? Watch. I drop a rift right here. I know that the pad spawn is valid, so I'm going to slide it right when they're starting the spawn animation, and out DPS their overkill in the middle. And then, since they're dead, the game has to look for another place to spawn them. So, it will spawn them in the exact same place again, to which you repeat it. This is why, later in the video, I might talk about like Ace of Spades versus Thorn. And Thorn is great because it does give you Soul Devour, a damage booster, but Ace is better because you don't have to retrieve it. You just have a harder hitting hand cannon, a better damage per second hand cannon to farm somebody off spawn repeatedly. So let's say that I messed this up and I accidentally peeked too soon. The radar usually tells you when you're allowed to peek, but let's just say I'm late this time. Well then the only valid spawn is this one right here. I just do the same thing, slide over. So now that we're familiar with spawn trapping, moreover, all the keys to success in free-for-all, let's talk about some factors that tip the odds in your favor. Individually. So, starting with agility, get out of dangerous situations.
Okay.
Speed, get to places faster, which means you can spawn trap better. Damage booster, you win more duels, easier to win duels, and you can kill through the